Ugh, fly in my mouth. At least buy me dinner first, fly. Alright, I am Craig and this is Diary of an Angry Scottish Golfer. This is a YouTube video series that I do that tracks my progress trying to get down to a scratch handicap. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy golf YouTube videos, things like this, please consider subscribing, because once the subscriber count gets to 1,000, I'm able to monetize the channel, which means the channel will make money, funnily enough, and it means that every single penny that's raised through this YouTube channel will be donated in its entirety to a rescue dog charity. So consider hitting the subscribe button to be your act of charitable giving. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, and in the last one I was pretty morbid and I was alluding to the fact that it was probably going to be my last one. I played the Open here yesterday at my golf club, and the guy who I played with, he spoke about the videos and he said that he actually enjoyed them, and it kind of perked me up into the mood of doing one again. So I'm back with a vengeance. I'm going to film tonight, I'm going to film tomorrow night, film the night after that, so we're going to be back with weekly videos. That's not sitting the best, it's preferred lies, but shall we just go old school? Yeah, I mean that wasn't sitting the best. Foot. It's probably the biggest shove ever. Good start. Well, it's fine. Nice little bogey at the first there. It's always fun. But to be fair, I mean it was like up the arse of that bunker, so know the best. Anyway, so the title of this video is going to be something along the lines of positive mental attitude, or having a positive mental attitude is bollocks and it doesn't work. So first of all, that's quite a bold statement to make, obviously. Disclaimer, it works for some people, for sure. Like, I'm not saying that if people have a positive mental attitude, that's a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. I wish I had it. All I'm saying is simply, for me, personally, it's a load of shite and it doesn't work. Like standing up on this tee and just saying, what trees? There are no trees. All I see is fairway. Is a load of utter horseshit. But if you do that sort of thing and it works for you, crack on. More power to you. I like that phrase. Anyway, tee shot. Wow, that's a hook. Jesus. Bounced off a tree and came back to the fairway. Might just fucking hold that. I hit a good shot there, hit it pretty close. Right, so why do I think positive mental attitude is a load of horse shit? Well, because for me, it's so far away from what, like, my personality type, everything about me is just not even remotely like that. I just can't let myself believe that you need to have that to perform well, because if that's the case, then I'm just fucked. Like, I'll never be any good. Obviously relative, I know that I'm a one handicapper moaning about not being good, I understand. But that's just like stupid and all. I know, I get all that, but you know what I mean. So the example would be, so if I'm playing a meadow, it's like I'm walking up to this and my brain's just saying, you're gonna three-putt this, like constantly over and over and over again. It just keeps saying it, like, you're gonna three-putt, you're gonna three-putt, you're gonna three-putt. It'll do that the whole way around. So on a tee, it'll say like out of bounds, hook in the trees, hook in the trees. Little chips, it'll be like duff, 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 duff. So I deal with that the whole way around, every single shot. So like right now, yeah, I'm thinking about three, like my brain's saying, you're gonna hit this too far, you're gonna run it miles past, and you're gonna three-putt. That's like what's going on ahead. Yep, see? Self-fulfilling prophecy. So there I've done an example, I don't know if that's even still in the shot really, is it maybe? Yeah, just. So I've ran it a good, I don't know, 3.5 foot by. It's like chicken or egg. Did it happen because I was thinking it, or do I think it because it happens, all that sort of shit. But anyway, I barely read this, so right, left edge has got to be good. Right, that's a good save, but you get my point, right? So when people say to me, "Oh, just think positively, that's just not on the cards. I just can't do it. It's just completely not possible. And it gets really, really bad when I'm playing well or when I'm playing in something that matters. So a couple of weeks ago, me and my mate played a doubles thing here. I started eagle, birdie, par. He birdied the fourth, so we were 4 under. I hit a good tee shot on 6 and I had like 40 yards to the front of the green. And he's a good player, he's off +3 or +2 or something, and he said, "What are you thinking here, right?" Try to sort of caddy-ish round to be like, "Right, come on, let's do this, let's play well." And I was like, "Well, if I'm being honest, mate, I'm thinking about duffing it a foot in front of me." And he just made a face and was like, "I cannot believe you're thinking that." Yeah, I do think like that constantly, just all the time. I don't know if you can hear those birds going mental. It's probably because I'm wearing a yellow shirt, eh? Oh, the birds are loving it. Shite chat, that was shite chat. Oh, flushed it. Oh, bloody hell, get away from that bunker. Oh, get away from it. I did flush it. I think it went straight in the bunker. What my brain does, right? So my brain does that when I'm competing, whenever I'm playing golf. So when someone says, "Oh, just think positively," I don't know why you can't just think positively. It's quite hard to explain, but I've got that with everything. Like, I think about the worst possible outcome for everything. So for example, I got the dog recently. If you watch these videos, you'll know that I got a dog. I've rescued a dog a couple of months ago. He's been with me about 3 or 4 months now, and I'm starting to really love him. And in my head, every time I see him, I think, "Oh, it's going to be really sad when he dies." So I'm not trying to make this really morbid. I'm just trying to give you an idea. Because when people just seem to think, "Oh, I don't know why you can't just think positive." I don't know either. And like I say, I think positive thinking is a lot of bullshit because I have to believe that, because I have to think there's other ways. There's more than one way to boil an egg, as my mate would say, because otherwise what's the point if you've hit your ceiling. 152 yards downhill. Take 1 extra club. Try and smother it. Try and smother it. That's a good shot. That's all over it. Go. It's just a bit short. Was good though. So why do I think like that? Well, I was listening to this thing called the Psychology of Performance podcast in conjunction with, how good are the words there? Wow, conjunction. In conjunction with the work that I do with Tom, the golf psychologist guy that I see, and determined that a lot of this stuff comes down to personality types. Now there's like a few different personality types. There's someone who would be considered to have a contained personality type. Now they would have a low sensitivity to a perceived threat and a low sensitivity to a perceived reward. So if we stick to golf and stay away from thinking about dogs dying, and that personality type wouldn't really think about slinging 1 OB, that wouldn't really bother them. Similarly, they wouldn't get too up for making a birdie. They would just be pretty, I guess the guy that comes to mind would be probably Dustin Johnson. I would imagine he probably has that type of mindset because he's just like cool as a cucumber every day of the week, isn't he? Like, he's Mr. Chilled. Optimistic mindset, you would have a low sensitivity to a perceived threat, you would have a high sensitivity to a perceived reward. So that would be someone who can then say, "I don't even think about the trees, like all I see is the fairway, blah blah blah," all that. Again, if you've got that, if you can do that, that's class. Definitely keep doing it. The other example, and tell me if this guy sounds familiar, LOL. The other example would be a prudent mindset. Now that would be someone who has a low sensitivity to reward and a high sensitivity to a perceived threat. This guy. What has 2 thumbs and likes mums? This guy. That was a shite joke. You bastard. Right, so what do we have so far? So we've got contained mindset who has low sensitivity to both. So he's neither up nor down. Probably Dustin Johnson is a good example, I think. A optimistic mindset, which is, why the hell is there a red T in that? That's weird. They're all white. That's red. There's a optimistic guy stands on this tee and doesn't think about the out of bounds. He just thinks, perfect, down the right, we draw, happy days, good, golden. You've then got your prudent mindset, which is me, and I'm prudent on steroids when I'm on a good score. So if I'm here and I'm like 1 under par, I'm just like out of bounds, 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 out of bounds. So that's exactly what I think. And then the other one would be an engaged personality, so like mindset. These are personality types. An engaged personality type is someone who has a high sensitivity to both. So they're, I mean, I can't even fathom what that would be like. To be like, oh my God, there's out of bounds, but also, how good would it be to make a birdie? Right, try and not hit a hook. There's my prudent mindset. Instead of saying, right, hit a straight one, I'm just like, try not to hit a hook. No, I didn't hit a hook. I didn't hit a very good shot though. Missed the tree. Or not. Right, so this is where I think this gets interesting. I've talked about what I think and why I think that way and everything, or why I believe I think that way. It's like an innate kind of trait within, that rhymes, an innate trait. Jesus. Where I think this gets interesting, right? So if you're a positive mindset, happy days. If you're similar to me and you have these sorts of things, these thoughts, maybe they only come every now and then. Maybe they come when you're on a score, you're going to break your handicap. Maybe they come when you're going to win a match. And you just get flashes of these. How do you deal with them? Or how am I dealing with them? Because this is a selfish channel. This is about me. So how can I have these and play off one? This is where I think positive mindsets are bullshit, because to try and ignore this stuff, to try and ignore that constant chatter in your mind, it takes so much energy, and it's like you imagine you're holding up like a shield and someone's just swinging a sword at it. Sure, you're not getting hit, but fucking hell, man, it's just an effort, innit? Like, it's really, really hard. And little things that you could try and do, like in between shots, when you start hearing these things, concentrate on your breathing, count the steps in your head that you're taking, count trees, chat about, one of my mates when we were playing, he said, I think it would really help you if you didn't speak about golf between shots, if you just spoke about other stuff. And all these little things that you can try and do. For me, it doesn't really solve the problem. It's just hiding the problem. The negative chatter is still there. It's still constant in your head and all that stuff. So yeah, you can do these little things and maybe have a little bit of success. Try and put your mind elsewhere, try and get your shield up. Thinking about Captain America. Maybe it'll work, but I don't think it will work. And then this is where it gets really interesting. So I'm gonna hit the shot and I'm gonna talk about this next concept. 97 yards uphill, call it a ton. So I can just hit a ton, hit it a ton, hit it a ton. Standing on the road, so you'd get a drop usually, but Ken what? Let's just party. Let's just party time. Let's just fucking party time. That's a good shot. That might have bounced really, the ground's quite hard. Yeah, see, it's landed really good. It's landed really nicely, but it's just ran on like nearly through the back. Bit of a swinger, this one. This one likes to sleep with other golf holes and put keys in a bowl at parties, because this one is a swinger. That's way too hard, but gave it loads of break. Get in, Beverly. Well, that works. Birdie time, birdie time. 155 yards downhill, playing less than that. I hit an 8 iron from back there yesterday, so I'm gonna hit a 9 iron today. Right, 9 iron. Oh, golf shot. Come around to the right a wee bit. Not bad. Now what I'm going to talk about is how I play, like how I combat this, how I fight my inner demons, as it were, what I do, what I think about. And I think this can be quite useful for some people. And like I say, I mean, if you're with me this far into the video, you must think somewhat similar, and or you must be, I don't know, relatively keen on golf, or you must just be like, fuck me, this guy's a knob. What's he talking about? Well, this is when it's going to get extra knobby. Extra knobby? Like full fat knob. Full fat knob. This is a total slinging swinger as well. Learn from the last one. Although it went in, you definitely hit it too hard. It's a better pace anyway. Not a good pace for a lag. Scared of it. Scared of it. Okay, so bear with me, we'll do a little exercise here, right? And I'll be able to do this visually with you guys because I can do it on the screen. If we take this tee as a good example, because my bad shot is a hook, there's danger up the left on this hole, so there's out of bounds left. So if we take that as our negative thought, right? Out of bounds left. So if that's what you're thinking, right? That's at the front of your mind, out of bounds left. That's at the very front of your mind. So if I ask you to look down this hole and all you're thinking about is the out of bounds left, imagine that's all you can see, right? So now that's going to be up on screen. So that's literally all you can see. You can't even see the hole because you're standing here, you're trying to think about your shot, and all you see is out of bounds left. So when you just try and think about your breathing, try and think about other stuff, no, for me anyway, no, it's still there, that's all you see. Okay, we'll take it away. So then if we introduce a different concept, right? If we put the words, I'm thinking about, okay, well, I'm thinking about the out of bounds left. Well, that's different. It's a little bit different, it's better, certainly. So I would say you could maybe see a little bit of the hole, but you're still thinking about the out of bounds left, but yeah, you can see the hole. Okay, cool, right? Then you introduce a different concept. Again, come back even further. I notice that I'm thinking about the out of bounds. Well now, yeah, I've acknowledged that I'm having that thought, but it's a lot smaller than it was. I can see most of the hole now. It's still there, but I acknowledge that it's just a thought. It doesn't have any significance. It's got less power than it did before. It's just something. So genuinely the way I feel like it is like if you're holding up the shield when all you're thinking is out of bounds left, you're holding up the shield and you're fucking getting battered and it's an effort. When you think, oh, you know what? I notice that I'm thinking about the out of bounds left. I don't know, literally the way I see it in my head is you can put your shield down and the guy who's attacking you, this is fucking mental. Why are you watching this? This is insane. But yeah, you know what, fuck it. We're here, we're balls deep, right? So, the way I see it is at that point you can put your shield down and the guy who was attacking you is just like, oh mate, I just want to let you know that there's out of bounds on the left of this hole. And you can kind of say, oh thanks pal, I appreciate that, but that's no use to me. So yeah, that's it, right? So that's what I do. That's my technique, is that yeah, 100% there's out of bounds, and I don't get this right all the time. A lot of the time, especially when I'm playing well, it's less of I notice I'm having the thought of. It's more of, oh, panic stations. But it's the way we're working, right? So yeah, there is out of bounds left here, but if we put that concept into play, I notice there's out of bounds left, but it's so much more relaxed. I can just concentrate on my process, aim down the right, in a bit of a wind. I'll put it back in my stance a little bit more. I'm having that thought, but I can also just concentrate on what I want to try and do and drill it down the right hand side. It was nice and low, but it didn't really draw. Probably bunker on the right. Bunker on the right-ish, but not a horrendous shot. For me, that's the process that I go through and have been going through to combat this never-ending, relentless barrage of negative thoughts I have. Thoughts are just thoughts, innit? Like, but for some reason when you get on a golf course and when you're playing golf, you give these thoughts so much more power than you would anywhere else. Think about how many things, like, you can think about stuff and do other stuff perfectly well. You can think about what you're having for your tea when you're driving your car home. And similarly, when you're driving your car, you don't drive it, like, you're aware of these perceived threats that you have to be, like, to pass your driving test, you have to do a hazard perception test, that you have to acknowledge threats and then deal with them accordingly. So for me, that process of, oh, it's blinding me, all I can see is the out of bounds, then I notice, then I'm having the thought of the out of bounds. That's a wee bit better when you acknowledge it's just a thought. And then when you notice that, oh, I notice I'm having that thought about the out of bounds. That's fine. It just, honestly, it's like a weight lifts off your shoulders, or my shoulders, a weight has been lifted. Oh, fly in my mouth. Oh, that's disgusting. At least buy me dinner first, fly. There was the out of bounds down the left, we're fine. 144 yards into a wind. But I don't want to land it at 144 yards, I want to land it just short because the ground's rock hard, like my abs. Ba-dum-bums. You're such a knob. So yeah, again, right, okay, I notice I'm having a thought about it out of bounds. That's it, that's just a thought, that's fine, it doesn't really affect anything. So I can then just stand up, aim where I want to aim. It's actually sitting up quite high, so I'm going to have to back foot it. Try and get advancing forward. Concentrate on what I concentrate on. Hit a good shot. Oh, that is all over it. That was a very good shot. I'm having these thoughts, but this is manageable for me. I'm not just out here being like, no, I don't think about that, mate. I don't think about that. I do think about it, but try and cope with it. So, hit such a good shot there. Cock in hand. Right, okay, so I'm now immediately thinking about missing the birdie putt. But then again, run it through and notice it's just a thought. Doesn't have anything, any significance. Just walk up, do your thing again, run the process. That's the kind of crux of what this video was to be about today, was to talk about positive thinking, why I think it's a load of shite, why it doesn't work for me, what I do, how I get round. So if you struggle with that, I don't know, this might help you in some way. It's certainly helping me. Is there anything more bitch than taking off a glove one-handed? Maybe that. That thing's going off in my brain again, my personality type. This is a high perceived risk, perceived threat to me. Missing this is a short putt, you should probably hold it. All these crazy thoughts, but then you just kind of compartmentalize it. Just think, look, I notice I'm having these thoughts. The golf ball doesn't know I'm having these thoughts. The golf ball just knows what the club tells it. So if I just, yeah, just kind of right edge, inside right, I just aim it there, run my process, about there. Boom, birdie. Happy days. I guess that's a pretty good place to stop this video. I realise that this has been probably one of my most mental ramblings ever. Man, it's always embarrassing doing this sort of stuff but the one thing that Scott said yesterday was I was really honest in these videos, and that's probably why I haven't done one in ages, because I didn't want to do one and then it felt like I wouldn't be being honest, and then I felt like it would come across as fake as shit. And because of that, I was just like, nah, fuck that. But now, yeah, I've quite enjoyed doing this tonight. So yeah, like I say, I'm gonna actually film one tomorrow and try and get them back out weekly. Thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated, especially if you don't think I'm a complete helmet, because God knows I do. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please also do that, because that would be really nice of you. Mainly because when we get to 1,000 subscribers, the dog charity gets money, and some of the dogs are in a bad way. Other than that, I'll see you next week if I don't die. Boom, there you go, negative mindset. Lol. Right, bye-bye.